All right, Thrive Nation, on today's edition of the Thrive Time Show, we're going to teach you practical moves to get more done during your typical day. I think a lot of people think, Jason, that success happens overnight.
True.
Or maybe within 30 days, or 8 magical steps to become super successful this year.
Yep.
But really, success is based upon what you get done on a daily basis over and over again. So we're going to teach you the routine that's going to allow you to achieve financial freedom and time freedom. All this and more on today's edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, it is a very special occasion. We are on the other side of yet another successful Thrive Time Show conference. We had a 2-day conference. We just finished day 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
And Jason, you got a chance to spend some time with some of the conference attendees.
I did.
Give the listeners out there some of the highlight attendees that we had, some of the great guests we had that own and run businesses throughout these great United States. Just give us a little bit of a highlight.
Oh, man, we had so many. So Ryan Wells and his wonderful wife, Erin, came through representing for Flow Real Estate Photography. They crushed it. They're doing fantastic. They really helped a lot of business owners. I was talking to some of the newbies, newer people to either the program or first attendees to the conference, and they took a lot away from the things that Ryan had to say.
And that's flowphotos.com. That's Aaron and Ryan Wells.
Yep.
Okay. Who else was attending the conference that it was very, we had so many great people, but who else stands out to you as a guest that attended, who's implementing and having some success?
Oh, man. So my personal nutrition and strength coach, Placid Ajoku, the second with Built Phoenix Strong out of Roswell, Georgia. He showed up, showed the entire – you had everybody on their feet. He was showing them how to stretch, how to, get limber, talked about exercise, really talked about the importance of having a routine, but also how his implementation has helped his business. He was a rock star.
And there's let's think of just one more. We had so many great guests, but think of one more guest that was attending the conference that's having some massive success that was an inspiration to everybody out there.
I would say it was really cool getting to see one of my newer clients, Money Insights, come up and speak because they're newer to the program, but they have executed like everything that you say will take 90 days. They got done in like 30, 35, and they were able to kind of go up, teach the good people how they could really help a lot of the business owners in that building. They took a lot away from that, so they're very, very thankful.
So if you're listening to today's show, what I hope to give you during today's show is 5 practical moves that you can use on a daily basis that will help you to achieve massive amounts of success. And some of you might have heard similar shows, but I think what's going to make it different as I'm going to try to explain this within the context of organizing a conference, because I think people don't see the details that go into organizing a conference.
There's a lot.
Let's go with step 1, okay? Everybody out there has to get up every single day and take at least 1 hour. I would recommend an hour. Some people say a half hour, but I would say at least an hour per day, and plan your day 1 hour before you see anybody else. Now, when the 4 of us get together on Sunday mornings to record, I would say 99% of the time I've been up for 2 or 3 hours previous to seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm planning the day, planning the outline, getting ready for the show. But there are some times where we have a late night Saturday engagement, and if I don't get that hour or 2 to plan my day before the day starts, you could feel like overwhelmed almost.
You say late night Saturday engagement.
Well, it would be like, let me give you an example. We went to the Cardinal Club with Dr. Zellner, I want to say like a month ago. And I go to bed. I mean, last night we watched this Bible movie, this Bible show about the life of Solomon. We watched that. We go in the hot tub. I go to bed at 9. When we went out to dinner at the Cardinal Club, we did not, I think, wrap up our meal till about 10.
Yeah.
You went to the Cardinal Club last night, right?
Yeah, and typically I'm like you. Now that I get up early, it's great because it's a blessing if I get to bed by 9:30 because I get just enough sleep.
Yeah.
I didn't get home until like 10. I was just like, whoa.
Crazy late.
But I have to say, yeah, good conversation. But overall, the meal, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
The Cardinal Club, great meal.
We tried the tomahawk. I took the bone home for my dog. She's going to love that.
Again, the website is cardinalclubtulsa.com, cardinalclubtulsa.com. I've been there now 2 times, and each time the food's been great. It's been a great experience. cardinalclubtulsa.com. If you're looking for a nice place to take your wife or husband out for dinner, it's a great place. But we get back to this. You've got to take an hour to plan your day. Dr. Breck, you're a busy chiropractor.
Yes, sir.
And in a typical day, how many patients might you see on a busy Monday?
On a busy day, we're going to be like in the 80s, maybe even hit the 90s.
80 patients.
Uh-huh.
What time do you see your first patient?
We start seeing patients at 9.
So if you could just take 90 seconds or so
Sure.
and walk us through how you organize those first 60 to 90 minutes of your day.
Mm-hmm.
While you're doing that, I'm going to fix my keyboard USB cable. Okay, give me 1 second.
Well, and my day starts much earlier than 9 o'clock. And so I actually start the day at around 4:30 in the morning. And so I spend a little quiet time, some scripture reading, some praying, some meditation. And then I'll spend some time at the gym and get my workout in, get the blood pumping, get going. But what I found is that my meta time, so the planning out of my day, tends to work better when I actually do it the night before. I'm naturally a night owl, but I know when I say I get up at 4:30 in the morning, it's like, you're a night owl. Yeah, my brain is naturally awake. My neurons are firing at their best. It tends to be at night. And so I'll actually do my planning for the next day the night before. And that way I know before I even go to bed what's going to happen first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. I've got an order. I've got an agenda. I have priorities set. And so, but a lot of things are routine. So the quiet time with the Lord is routine. It's a daily habit of mine. The gym is a daily habit. And then I help get the family ready, and we do breakfast, and we get kids to school, and kind of that rat race part of the day that I think a lot of people start with. And so when you say you probably feel overwhelmed, I think that's one of it, is if you hit the alarm 5 times and then you've got to immediately jump into this rush, get the kids to school, get myself to work, then you do kind of start already overwhelmed. Instead of having, in my case, what I consider a much more peaceful start to the day. So I get to the office before everybody else, and then I'll get some notes done. I'll get some different things while it's quiet. I find that that's a great time to get some things checked off the list quickly. But that's another key factor, is having that checklist. So knowing what needs to get done definitely has helped me, because I was one who didn't used to use checklists, and it has made a huge difference. And I still feel like I'm not getting enough done, that there's more I could be doing. And so I'm still a student in this. But, there's a ton of stuff that happens before I start seeing that first patient at 9 o'clock. But once I do, then I'm right where my feet are. I am present time conscious and totally focused with each patient in that moment.
So let's make sure we get this idea. Whether you choose to stay up late and do it or get up early and do it, you've got to take that hour or half hour per day to plan your day. Mm-hmm. It just has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Yep.
Today, it's Sunday at 6:20 in the morning. There are things that have to happen today.
True.
And Sunday, my wife and I view that as our Sabbath, our refocus day, our time with family. But we do things. I mean, we do go to church at 8:45. We'll leave to go to Guts Church. But I have a book I'm still editing through, the Mastermind manuscripts. My daughter's 16. I want to schedule time to teach her how to drive. She's got the permit, but she needs more hands-on.
Yep.
We've got to get groceries for the week. We have 5 kids. If we don't get the groceries for the week on Sunday, then the week is weird.
Yes, it is.
We've got to get a lot of stuff done. My son and I have to go out. We picked out a basketball goal for the new building. We're putting in a 3-on-3 court there.
Yep.
But we're going out and picking out what basketballs we're going to have. And we just got a lot of decor decisions we have to make for the new facility. And I'm saying is, man, you can really have a productive day. You can really have an abundantly, exceedingly great day. Or you can have a day where you just get overwhelmed and you drift. And so we go back to yesterday. We have a conference.
Yeah.
A lot of the attendees start showing up at 6.
They do.
Now, the conference starts at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for that, I still get up, my normal routine about 3.
Yep.
But what's really awesome, step 2 here, is I have a checklist for what matters and what's my routine. And I want to get Nathan's take on this, because you clean carpets. But when you take the time to make that system for cleaning carpets, that system for adjusting back the spines, so for spinal alignment there, Dr. Breck, or those systems, Jason, for launching websites. Once we have a system, we can fall back on our preparation and then we can have more mentally present conversations.
True.
We can have more engagement with the guests at the conference. We can talk to the customers when we're cleaning their carpets. We can have a fuller conversation with your patients. Jason, you can work with your clients. You can be mentally present because you already have the system. So let's get into these checklists here. Nathan, the checklist you have that makes your company complete carpet work would include what?
We've got everything from the beginning to the end of the job. There's going to be something on there. And we use checklist as a tell you what to do and then check off what you did.
Yep.
You can use them as a check do or a do check. But either way, you need to know all the way up to even as simple as greet the customer, remember their name. It's amazing how if you know the name of the person you're walking up to, how much more connection you're going to have just immediately with somebody. I actually did for a local customer for McGill's. He's the owner of it. He said he's tried to get his waiters and waitresses said if you would go back and just look at the name on the credit card as they give it to you, if you come back and just mention their name as you hand them a credit card, you'll make 5% more tips.
It's true.
And he said it's amazing how just that human connection. So we put that into our checklist all the way to the end at the close where we ask them for a Google review. That's on the checklist so that if you get out in the van, you look down the checklist, you go, oh no, one of these isn't checked. You know what you do? You just go back and you finish it. That's why you remind you.
Wait, so you put it on the checklist to remind
This is
people
big,
to do
though.
it?
And
We've
so
worked-
it gets done.
So that it gets done. So
We've
you don't
listened
have
to-
to remember it.
We've listened to so many people on this over the years at conferences.
Yeah.
And I met many of them this weekend, and they said, hey, just getting a review from every customer, patient, client, every time has changed my life. Just adding it to the checklist.
Right.
Now, what I'm trying to give you guys today is 5 proven routines or systems you can fall back on that are going to dramatically increase your income. So let's go back to the conference. Jason, I am very intentional about how we run those conferences, and you do a very good job of helping me. But if you can cut to the screen just so you can see real quick here. If you look at the screen here, you can see the reviews from the conference there. Hopefully it pulls up for you. If it doesn't,
Well, I got Breck. That's a great view.
Not pulling up. Okay.
All right,
Sorry.
Brett, go review.
All right. And
Okay. But if you look at the reviews from the, if it's not going to work, just email founder and we'll have, Andrew might have to reset it or fix it or something. If it's
Gotcha.
being weird. But we have great reviews from the conference because we ask every time.
right.
And so a guy named Mr. Glenn gave us a review. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight Womack wrote, learned a lot. Can't wait to put the words into action.
Dwight's a great guy. I talked to him after the conference. Solid human being.
Brian Quiles gave us 5 stars. Clayton James Design wrote, big help. Thanks, Clay. Carly Sullivan says, I came to Clay Clark's business conferences to learn more about starting a nonprofit organization. He and his team exceeded my expectations. I'm super excited to implement these tools. Thank you for having me. Justin Carnahan writes, entertaining, more importantly, educational. Not a feel-good, fluff BS conference.
True.
Janelle writes, they have so much knowledge and passion for helping businesses grow. I'm excited to learn, to keep learning from them. Timothy Scott writes, a great way to get a fantastic, clear-cut plan to move your business to the next stage. Jeff Davis writes, I've been self-employed for 23 years, and the Thrive Time Show, Clay Clark, is the best business building coaching that I've ever experienced. There's just their help just over the past 3 months has saved us thousands and set us on a course of success that is repeatable and scalable. Tenderfoot Village, right? It's amazing company, amazing people, high energy environment. These people are changing lives. I'm so impressed with their knowledge and willingness they have to share the exact steps to take your businesses to be successful. Coaching is phenomenal, and the conference is a wealth of information and a high energy, motivating environment. Shauna Stevens writes, sitting at the Business Coach workshop will blow your mind. Great speakers, great information. Learned more yesterday and today than years in college. The energy in this place is
Suck it,
incredible.
college.
And so we keep getting these reviews. Well, if we keep scrolling down, eventually we're going to run into the people that haven't attended the conference that leave bad reviews. So we keep scrolling down. I'm scrolling down right now. I got to find
While
them.
you're scrolling,
Yeah.
there's over almost 30 ones that say less than a day ago, which means
Right.
that at the conference you did what? Because this doesn't
Because I have
happen.
to
just-
intentionally ask people for reviews. Now, this is interesting. I'll find it here. Okay. So we've got somebody says, just heard you on CNN. You owe it to everybody, anyone, where you get your stats from after throwing around percentages out to public venues. Okay. Never worked with her before.
I would say you're also phenomenal at referencing any kind of data stat number that you put out there, or it's coming straight from the business owner themselves, who are the ones sharing the stat.
There we go. I was on CNN. I did share the stats, and this person did not pay attention. Therefore,
Well, if you want to have a conversation, that's where you go to reviews so that you can have this dialogue to get. No, that's not where you normally get.
and then this lady, Kylie, she actually came to a job interview for Shaw Homes at our place.
Mm-hmm.
And now, again, I don't own Shaw Homes.
Right.
Jason, Shaw Homes hosts their job interviews at our place.
Yeah, I sat in on not the last one, but the one before that.
And this lady shows up super duper late for the job interview, doesn't get the job, so she writes, "This place was sketchy. Went into an interview, and it ended up being a public seminar." Okay. Margot writes, "Went to the interview for the Shaw Sales Home. It wasn't." Okay. But again, these are people who didn't get hired.
Are these people having strokes when they're writing these?
Now,
For
one
the
of my-
Shaw Sales Home.
Lauren Rocket, one of my favorites. This is a person
great
who
name.
worked for a video company I had years ago and then bailed out last minute. And now she emerges a month ago to leave a bad review. I haven't seen this person and or heard of this person in, I believe, more than a
I was
decade.
going to say a decade.
And the hipster leaves us a bad review. That's great. And then, it's just amazing how you get bad reviews by default.
Right.
And if you're not intentional about asking for the reviews, you don't get them.
Nope.
True.
But let's go back to the conference. Jason, the conference, we start that thing at 7,
Straight up.
and I have a printed agenda
Yes, you
for
do.
everything we're going to cover. And then if you have any questions in between sessions, you can ask. We put the questions on the whiteboard. But we went through a lot of stuff.
We did. That was
And-
a lot of material.
And people will tell me in between the breaks, hey, can we talk? Can I pick your brain? And the reason why I say, hey, put it on the whiteboard is everybody there matters, and I want to get all the questions answered.
And you don't leave day 2 until that's done.
We don't. But so many people say, oh, my gosh, this conference was my favorite, or the one you just did was my favorite. Well, it's because we answered the most of their questions. See,
Right.
once people have been to a conference, they start to realize you guys really do answer my questions.
Yeah.
So usually the second conference people go to, they say it's my favorite because it's the one where we answered all their questions.
Right.
The first time they kind of sit back a little bit and they're like, I don't know where these questions are coming from. But I want to make sure we're getting this. Okay, so principle number 1, you've got to take an hour per day to plan your day. Every day. And I think it's easy to skip that.
Every day?
Every day, Jason. I think it's easy though when we get busy, when we need the routine the most as we're growing our business.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Flow Photography is growing their business. Shout outs to Flow Photography. Placid Ajoku the second, he's growing his business. Built Phoenix Strong. That's exciting.
Very.
Money Insights growing their business. Lake Martin Mini Mall
Oh, shout out to Jason.
growing his business. It could be easier, you would think, to skip the planning as you grow, but actually that's when you need the planning the most. Jason, please explain this idea, because again, I think people think, oh, once I become successful, then I'll start planning, or they think I'm so busy, once I'm less busy, then I'll start planning.
Well, just to break down, because you said one thing, it's extremely easy to skip that step. And as we were wrapping up yesterday, you kind of went like rapid fire things that people need to do in order to make sure that they are staying successful and growing. And you had asked, you were giving away all this Trump swag that Anthony was selling, and you said for the chance to win any one of these awesome items, hat, flag, shirt, whatever, can you guys answer this next question? Why is it so impossible to plan when we get busy? I'm trying to think of the way you phrased it, but you said something about how when you get so busy, why is it almost impossible in order to get anything else done? And there was like this weird, ominous silence. And before, everyone's like call and response, and they were very interactive at this conference. It was great. It wasn't like crickets.
Sure.
But when you said that, they they froze. And at first, I thought everybody was scared to answer. Then I realized they didn't understand the answer to the question because they were currently going through this. And so I like to interject, not because I want attention, but I hate when things are quiet. So I said, because people don't plan their time. And you said, what? I said, well, the reason why people get so busy and can't find time to do things is they don't sit down and schedule what their time is going to be. The second that you implement a calendar, you now know how many hours you have within a day to get things done. That's why Brett can see 80 patients, still rock a checklist, still get home and enjoy family time, because he starts his day, 4:30, and knows what he's doing every single step. But the second that you wake up and just go, oh man, gotta go, you get out that door, you get 10,000 action items, you get 1,700 burning fires, and you don't now you don't have that time to plan. You are just reacting to everything.
Every day we got to plan our day.
Yep.
We just have to every single day, Breck.
Well, and I think of it like the old, fable about the woodcutter. You know, he spends the time sharpening the axe versus just going about it
Yep.
with the dull blade. You get so much more done, even if it doesn't have to take so long. I mean, you get to where maybe, part of that hour is that meta time. It's used in various ways, but the day-to-day, like the creation of my checklist doesn't take an hour. That's a portion of it. And then there's other aspects of that time that are being used. And so if I'm really pressed that day, yeah, I might shrink it down that day. The planning out may be a 30-minute process. But it's always going to be worthwhile because I'm going to get more accomplished by having spent that time doing the stuff that actually helps get the other stuff done. So it's like the enzyme in the reaction. It's the catalyst. It's the fuel that makes the other things able to be done. Otherwise, you actually accomplish far less in the day. So backing up and planning it out, it's like trying to take a road trip without any kind of map, without any forethought. And it's like all of a sudden on the trip you run into, hey, the car needs oil and the tires are flat and we're headed the wrong direction and all these other problems that could have all been avoided and they were all time wasters. Instead, you had the map, you changed the oil ahead of time, you got the tires checked, and you fueled up and you were ready to go. And now you're well on your way down the road headed to your proper destination. And it's like you just saved yourself all that time by spending a few minutes of forethought.
Now, yesterday, I believe my daughters, plural, spent the night at your house.
It is.
Is that right, Nathan?
You know, and a unique thing, last night trying to get them to go to bed, they are the most rowdy bunch. It's like they stay up all night. I tried giving them a lullaby. I tried giving them more milk.
Were Scarlett and Leia over there, or was Angelina there?
And Angelina.
So we had three over there?
And I found the secret
we had
message.
3 kids at your house.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I've got about half your family. There'll be a hostage negotiation later at the end of the show. And I walked in, I found my copy of the Boom Book. I opened that up and started to read. They were out in like 5 minutes.
Nice. Now, here's the deal. I want to make sure we get this in the context of the conference. So we have this conference. We finished the conference. I committed my wife I'd be home at 4, so at 4 o'clock I'm home. And we were going to go. We had a list of things to do. We had to buy a garden hose for Grandma because we just planted all these new trees. We got to get the garden hose. And my wife wanted to make sure we dropped off clothes over your house for the kids.
Actually, they were so nice, we decided to let them stay the night.
Nice. And then we wanted to make sure that my son got his hair cut. And there's just things on the list.
Sure.
But we'd already made that list before the conference.
Exactly.
Right.
And after the conference, a lot of people were like, hey, dude, if you want to grab a bite to eat, we should love to hang out. And I would love to, but I had committed to other things. And again, I just want to make sure we get this. I think people think, man, that conference was awesome. Woo! But they don't realize I am heavily dependent upon, step one, planning my day every day. So I'd already planned the day before the conference began. Step two, I have a checklist for everything.
Yep.
I mean, and again, we have TV screens that have to work. We have a playlist.
Yeah.
that
All
has
the
to
audio.
work. The audio has to work. There's video clips I want to play. Everything has been meticulously organized over time, and it's because I don't want to have to think about it.
Right.
But that's why it comes off so well and so professional, is because you've stopped and you've thought through all the processes, the sights, the sounds, the feels.
There it is.
The whole thing is been thought through. It's not haphazard, because I've been to those situations where, it was one person's job or it was done by committee and it never got done. And then you're like, well, why aren't the mics working? Or why is the sound terrible? Or why aren't the slides popping up? Or any number. There's not enough chairs. There's nobody's controlling the AC, and it's too hot, it's too cold. It's all kinds of problems can happen.
I had a client that had kind of an emergency they needed some issues with. That's why I only work with 160 clients. I want to be available when I promise I'm going to be available. And this client had a emergency problem. Well, because we had the systems in place, I told Clay Stairs, I'm going to have you lead this session.
Yep.
And then I'll be back, but I need you to lead this session. It's a 15-minute session. You lead that session. I'll put out this burning fire.
Right.
And he goes, okay, but because we have it in the Boom Book, it's all documented. He's able to lead through the system because we cover the same material. It works. Now,
and you can trust your team.
And I'm going to
You got
verify.
great people around you.
I'm going to verify. Clay isn't just blowing smoke here. I've sent him texts in the past, and almost instantly, I've gotten a call back at times when he's available to help me to process through something. So this isn't just hyperbole. This is really something he does on a daily basis, and he really is committed to his clients.
Now, next move, okay? This is a big one. You want to innovate in a disciplined way. Innovate in a disciplined way. Now, I'm going to give you a fun thing we're working on right now. I'm excited, and I want to see if it makes sense to you guys, because if it doesn't make sense to you, it's okay. We have 100 people that attend the conference.
Yep.
Okay? And what I want to do is I want to do a $50 buy-in, okay, which is going to generate a pot of, again, Jason, we're doing the math. Follow with me here.
Oh.
We got $5,000 pot. Everybody got that?
Yep.
So the way it's going to work here, you got a $5,000 pot, but again, the buy-in is $100, okay?
Okay.
It's $50, but there's 100 guests, all right? And we're going to be building a paintball course behind our newest venue.
Right.
So after day one, Jason, tell me if this makes sense to you, okay?
Yep.
So you do a $50 buy-in, and you're in teams of 3.
Okay.
3 or 4, probably 4, okay? Because people travel as a couple, okay? So then what you do, Jason, is you go into this tournament, and we start right after the conference. So it's like
yes, when people's emotions are like, their energy levels are so high.
Yeah, so it's like 3:30 p.m. we're hitting the court, like 4 p.m. we're going, okay? And you're playing paintball, but it's the winner. You have a team of 4 wins, okay?
Yep.
The winner gets to keep the pot.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I'd suggest day 2. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of really sore people on day 2 in the morning. They're going to come in and be like, oh.
That's good.
Now Saturday, the next day, I'm putting in the 3-on-3 basketball court.
Oh.
Yeah.
Same thing, $50 pot. You play, but it's a 3-on-3 thing. But you put in the money in the team with the 3-person team.
Yeah.
But I think in 3-on-3, a lot of times you do a 4-person team. But we'll work it out there.
Jason Breck, now you're on my team. Let's go.
But then they get to keep the pot. What do you think about this, Jason?
I think it's great because, I mean, one, people love to get involved if there's something to win. So, we do the TV giveaway because people get excited, like, oh, I have the chance to win. I mean, it came down to it yesterday. You guys picked, 4 potential winners, and then they did rock, paper, scissors, and it was epic because they're like, I'm playing for something. And so with this, because we work with entrepreneurs, businesses, you always say this, a contact sport. Now we literally have 2 contact sports that people can, work that entrepreneurial mindset into. And what's cool is everybody always compares systems and, I do it this way. My checklists are this way. I optimize like this. And so they're always like trying to like one up each other. Let's put that skill to the test somewhere else. I think it's going to go over great.
So the December conference is when I plan to unveil this.
Okay.
And we got a lot of work to do in the meantime to get it done. I just went out and I bought, I don't know if you guys follow Basketball Goals, but I go into Dick's, and I knew when I walked into Dick's, a dream was being achieved. Because I go into Dick's, and I said, excuse me. By the way, I'm not wearing a mask. I said, excuse me. Where are the basketball goals?
So they could hear you.
Yeah. And so she says, they're over here. So I walk over that way. And because I'm realizing a childhood dream of having a 72-inch glass, tempered glass.
Is that what makes it NBA,
NBA
regulation? Because I'm looking them up and I don't know the difference.
Okay, yeah. Type in Gorilla, 72-inch, 72-inch Gorilla. It's just type in basketball goal.
The breakaway rim.
Yeah, breakaway rim. And what makes it different is the actual glass. Nathan, I can show it to you here. This is the actual glass. The ball reacts differently when it hits the glass.
You've got way more bank shot space.
So it feels like you're playing college or high school. It's high quality. The rim itself has some give to it. And then we're going to get the NBA. Hopefully, I don't want the new commissioner, Silver. I don't want his signature on the ball. I want David Stern on the ball. But so then you got so I had to modify the building, because in the new building, Jason, you can't actually, in the new building, it's not possible for us, because you can drive a car in and out of the new building.
Yeah.
So in order to get the basketball goal up there, we're going to have to put the basketball goal and attach it add more steel framing for the basketball goal to work.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. But I go in there to buy this, and these young guys who are working there, because the guys who work at Dick's usually like sports.
Sure.
They're going, dude,
That makes sense.
are you getting the actual tempered glass NBA goal? I go, yes, I am. And they're like, oh, sick, bro. And it was like, we were
it's
all
not something that just leaves the shelf every day.
Well,
this is a big purchase.
They're
This
like,
is a big deal.
nobody gets this.
For the viewing audience at home who's listening,
Yeah.
normally you get the small kind of dome-shaped, kind of like an arch.
Fiberglass or
Small
particle
little
board.
Yeah, it's like a little clamshell of a basketball. No, this is the full, big, strong rectangular one you'll see in like an NBA game. This is beautiful.
I wish that the big screen would work. So maybe you guys have to huddle around as I show you over here.
Steve Currington's first look
I'm going to pull up a video of the new place here so you guys can see it.
Boomtown. Just to give you a little context here.
Let me-
This is the building. It's going to say
There we go.
Boomtown right there. There's Steve. That's going to be the future paintball course over there.
Okay, and I want you guys to see that. I'm so sorry that the screen doesn't work over there, but who cares? Here we go. So this is Steve.
This is the building. It's going to say Boomtown right there.
Just like Society Burgers right there. Boom. Town right there.
There's Steve. That's
kinda
going to be the
work
future paintball course.
Steve Currington, the mortgage guy's giving us a tour.
Here we go.
He's leading the tour, but he's never been in the building before, which is great. Okay, so we're going in there.
You got to go down and under.
Thank you, Steve. He's giving me a tip about going down and under there. Okay, so right here, this is where the goal's going in. But we had to change the framing of the building so it can support the weight. And then here's the NBA. It's going to be the three-point line right here. Oh, sick. And then, what was that, Breck? Yeah, there's a roll-up door over here. So this is so you'll be able to go outside.
To hang things.
That's the conference room, Box That Rocks.
Sheet rocket if they want to.
Kind of moving around. Okay, here you go. So these will be roll-up doors that go out. There'll be outdoor kitchen, koi pond, fire pit, the whole deal. And now we're moving out to the paintball course. We're walking out here through the paintball course.
Mayor's office. And that's Tim Redmond's office.
Here we go. We're walking out. Walking out. Headed towards the paintball
And
course.
this will pergola, koi pond, the
okay.
garage door.
Here we go. Making our way out.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Jason, you don't have to help me come up with crazy stuff. I got rocks and boulders we can hide behind. We're putting like hay bales and whatever it's going to be.
Get those old huge wire spools.
Yeah, it's going to be game changing. I'm going to love this place. Oh, shaka baba.
Like 40?
There we go. So you walk back here, and this guy used to quarry out rocks and stuff. So it's surrounded by trees on all sides. Let's get further in. Look
And
at
then
that.
here is the future paintball course right now.
Hey, look, that is the actual burn pile right now for this week.
We're just taking all the
Awesome.
all the trees we have to tear down when we're building things, and we're burning them there.
Oh, shaka baba.
They're massive.
Okay, anyway, so you guys can kind of see the deal. So, but the idea is I want to do the bonfire too, you know? And Jason, I'm thinking,
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Yeah, you got to make that bonfire an event because that's going to be epic. I mean, that's a huge pile of wood.
but I think it changes the conference entirely.
It does.
When it's 7 o'clock on Friday, there's a bonfire, you're meeting entrepreneurs. I mean, the whole relationship, doesn't
Nobody's
it
gonna
change?
wanna leave.
Doesn't it change?
Yeah, I mean, even now, one of the things about it, so like I had a lot of newer clients come to this, and like they had already bought into the system. They loved the fact that they got to meet you. They're working through their path with me, and they're feeling a connection because we're intentional. They feel like somebody cares about them. And then they come here and they're like, the connections here are even better. It's like a family. Like Placid, he's been to, I think, 2 conferences now.
And I hope he keeps coming to them
Yeah.
because he
he was at the last
added so much value to so many people.
He really did.
We were doing a training on how to train your people, and I had him come up, and I had he and Ryan with Flow Photography.
yeah.
And Ryan was trying to explain at Flow Photography, you can't teach somebody how to do photography by handing them a handbook. You use a checklist, but they got to do hands-on, much like with carpet cleaning.
Right.
Yep.
And he was able to do a warm-up and teach people how he teaches people to get in shape.
Exactly.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
You know, I want to put one thing, and it's probably already on your list, but if it's not,
No,
it
let's
should
go,
be on
let's
here
go.
because everybody
Brainstorm it out, baby.
everybody that mentions this, everyone you've had on this show mentions one thing. Breck does it, Jason does it, I do it in the carpet cleaning, is that you need to plan out your day. You need to set down all the stuff you need to do, and then you need to go out there and do some physical activity to free up the brain fog, to get the blood pumping. The best ideas I've had while I'm in the middle of a large carpet cleaning. Nothing else to do, just sitting there going, and all of a sudden, boom, idea comes. Boom, idea. Not when I'm trying to force the idea. Where I've
Right.
already put a plan in place. I've already scheduled my day. Now I'm doing some physical exercise to get the blood pumping, and all of a sudden, the ideas you had before. So I think the end of the conference is going to be awesome because now they've sat all day. They've brought all this information in. Now they'll physically do something, and the information can then settle in. Now they can have those epiphanies that you can't get while you're just thinking about something. You have to
We're
go
trying
do
to avoid
something.
getting shot with a paintball.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel, and again, you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, and I'd like to get your feedback on this because this is something I've been working through last night, again this morning. I spent a couple hours this morning already kind of working through this. But I feel like you come to the conference on Friday and you go, man, love it. but you're kind of looking for something to do.
Yep.
So if at 4 o'clock we do the paintball,
Yep.
the buy-in of $50, and you can win $5,000. I mean, split amongst your team. I mean, that's everyone's going home with
You
$1,300
just paid for
a
your
piece.
trip and the conference.
Isn't that
Right.
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that deal. I like the bonfire at 7. I think that's a move. Throwing out ideas. You guys can throw out better ideas.
Because especially, I mean, after the conference, when the quote unquote the pressure's off, you've attended, you've had your finale, but yet you still have people that, like you said, they want more, they want to hang, they
Right.
want to do, and so you've got an opportunity. You're creating an environment for these entrepreneurs to continue to connect with one another, to break down ideas, to share, to collaborate, and so I can see, people hanging out around the bonfire, people, looking over the koi pond, just having conversations with other entrepreneurs that allows certain synergies to happen.
I do have one idea.
Throw it out.
For the
Throw it out.
bonfire.
This is good. I want to make sure we're getting this principle. Don't lose the idea. Just make sure we're
Got
getting this idea. You have to innovate in a disciplined way. So when you're filling the room with ideas, I look at brainstorming as like you have a room and you can fit so many helium balloons in the room. You just fill it up, and then you pop your way out of the room. You pop the bad ideas or the ideas that aren't implementable out, but you need a lot of ideas.
Yep.
So you've got to have the freedom to present ideas, and those ideas should solve problems for your ideal and likely buyers. So as we're thinking, what we're doing right now, Thrive Nation, on this show, you're hearing it happen, is we're taking what is already the world's highest rated small business workshop, and we're going to the next level. There are things that we've wanted to do that you have suggested over the years. Many of you have suggested it'd be so cool if we could do this after the conference, if we could do that after the conference, and we are going to do it. But as we fill the room full of ideas, we then have to document the plan and add this to the master agenda.
Otherwise, it doesn't get done.
Otherwise, it doesn't get done. Otherwise, it's a good idea, poorly executed. So, Jason, what's your idea?
So the whole idea is to make it inclusive for all of our guests, give them something to do. However, I do think we should have one excluding rule, put up some, and I will commission the person to make the sign, but I think we need to have a big sign next to the bonfire that's not flammable that says no acoustic guitars /Skylers. Because there's nothing like a bonfire that attracts a guy named Skyler who can play 4 chords, and we're going to have to hear Wonderwall over and over, and the clients don't need to be subjected to that.
Wonderwall?
Yeah.
Wait a second. I love this. I love what you're doing here.
I'm trying to keep it where, I don't want Breck to be alienated because we're trying to have a conversation and the guy's just
I love Wonderwall.
yeah, but I don't want to hear it for 2 hours straight.
Come on, yeah, you do. I worked really hard to get
This
these
is what
4
can
chords.
happen at Jason's campfire events here. Here we go. I remember
Jason,
this
your
song.
beard
I
is
haven't
looking
thought of
so
this.
great.
I haven't thought of this song in forever, dude. Yeah, is this
Wait,
song-
you're singing the song. How do you know all of the lyrics?
Today
It's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. This can't happen
By
at Jason's
now.
cover.
By now you should have somehow realized what you're gonna do.
Everybody now.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Then all of a sudden the whole mood shifts.
I think you have to hold your nose while singing.
Backbeat,
The one is on the street
and the fire in your eyes is down.
Oh, the
4
bass.
chords.
I'm sure
Oh my gosh. And you know,
Oh, great. Now it's going to be at the conference for sure.
now listen, this is what's going to happen next. Because after you do that, you're like, hey, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because once you're done,
Yeah.
it's hard to follow it up.
Well,
so
then
what
he
you
goes
do is-
directly into Santeria by Sublime.
So to
No.
combat
Let's,
that,
okay, one second. You just said an offensive thing.
no, here's the
Listen,
thing.
I know a lot about awkward campfire singing because I did a lot of youth group as a kid. What happens is people do not do Sublime. You said what song?
Santeria.
Because that has too much upbeat. What happens is it gradually gets more and more introspective.
Yeah.
And pretty soon people are doing more than words. Mm-hmm. And then someone's like,
True.
I just got a divorce.
Good riddance.
By Green Day.
And then people that don't know each other are making out in the woods. That's what happens every time.
If you're going to Green Day,
back
you're
to
going
you.
to Basket Case, obviously.
Back to you there.
Do you have the time?
Now,
Unbelievable.
on a positive side, to combat the hemp barefoot Birkenstock guitar player is that you need to have a DJ at the bonfire.
We got obs.
They need a full-on DJ setup around the bonfire. Keep the energy high.
True.
I'll work through this.
Do you have the time
I'll work
to
through
listen
this.
to me whine?
So you have point, but again, the conference is over Friday at 4. We're all in agreement. Paintball makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and I want to put one thing. Sorry, while we're throwing spaghetti soup into ideas. There needs to be something, because I can tell you there are women who do attend the conference, and they come and they glean a lot of great information for their awesome businesses. And I'm going to tell you, my wife being one of them would probably not sign up for paintball.
It's okay.
Now, they may watch me get hit by paintballs. So that may be like,
She may pay extra.
She may pay extra to watch me get hit by paintballs.
Well, no, half the fun of this
Like
is
a
watching
firing
other
squad.
people get shot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of this is just watching other people. It's
Hey,
like blood sport.
That's
It's
an
like,
idea.
Look
You
at
could
that guy.
just
Oh, he just
line them
got
up
hit.
like
Bam.
point blank and let the spouse shoot the
We'll
other.
do like that guy at the fair, the dunk take, where he's just like, hey, you in the stupid hat. And then
Yeah.
you throw balls at him until he falls in the water. I'll be that guy. You can shoot me.
Okay,
Now,
so an
7
actual thing here. Sorry,
Yeah,
one
sure,
last
go
thing.
for it.
Sorry to
Go for it.
interrupt you.
Go for it.
One thing we actually did on my honeymoon, we went to Hawaii, and on the north side, on the Hilo side of Hawaii, we went up there to see one of the. They've got some of the biggest cattle ranches on the Big Island of Hawaii. I just loved it. Been back many times. We're up there, and they have a large rodeo, full-on rodeo, and at the end, they have a chance to win $5,000. So we got $5,000 on the thing. You know what you need to do? 6 men get into the pen, and they let a bull out. You've got a hula hoop on the ground. You've got to keep one foot in that hula hoop with a live bull in the arena. You've got the bull vest on. And so the first person to leave their hula hoop.
I've seen
this
this,
is an
but it was
actual
like
thing.
people sitting at a card table.
This is an
Yeah,
actual thing.
Whoever's
And so
last
that was
standing or
they
sitting at the
go-
card table.
So that bull turns and looks at you. The trick is if you don't move, he won't go for you. But you start moving, he sees the motion, and you see guys just running and jumping and trying to get out of the pen fastest. So the last guy with his foot still in the hula hoop, he gets the $5,000. I'm going to tell you, somebody to get the $5,000. It wasn't me. I was out of that. As soon as that bull was led into the ring, I was like, nope, I'm out. I was trying to look
I
brave
get
for
horned by a bull, and I'm not leaving a good review.
Yeah.
Hey, you stepped into that ring, man.
So, you know, a safe version of that could be let everyone who wants to, like 5 or 10 guys, and then everyone else gets a paint gun, and the first person to leave the firing squad is the winner.
Or Steve Carrington in a bull suit.
Oh, yes.
He'll horn you.
That sounds really weird.
I went to a new place right there. I feel like I kind of went to Hawaii with that. That was impressive. Okay, so now we continue. So again, what we got to do is we got to have an event, though. We got to be intentional, and I'm making sure this applies to everybody listening. Okay, you have to think about this. Okay, so if we do the paintball, we need 10 guns if we're going to play 4-on-4.
This is true.
Okay. And we need the paintballs needed for this, okay? Then you need what? Jason, walk us through. You've done paintballing much more than I have. What else do we need?
You got to have masks, otherwise we're going to have lawsuits on our hands.
10
For sure.
masks. What else do you have?
You have to have the CO2 tanks.
Okay, CO2 tanks.
You have to have backup CO2 to fill the tanks.
backup CO2. Yeah.
You have to have the paintball ammo.
Okay.
Like thousands of rounds.
Yep.
You're going to have some form of bandana or tape to mark what team is what.
Okay,
Now,
so
are these-
bandana. Oh, so you have to have like red bandana
Yeah.
and then
like
blue
wh-
bandana.
when we went to play, they just used like white duct tape, and of course I went in a tank top, so they wrapped duct tape around my arm. That was fun to get off.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Masks, we got CO2, we've got markers.
Now, are these going to be just single shot guns? We're going to allow automatic. We're going to allow semi-automatic. Are they going to allow the
Everyone have the same gun.
500 hopper?
You
Everyone
gotta,
have the same
you
gun.
gotta have a
Same gun.
boundary line, kind of a
Boundaries,
perimeter.
That's a good point. Boundary lines. Okay.
Now, what type of games are we playing? Are we playing full-on just domination, or are we going to do like
Capture the
Capture
flag.
capture the
flag.
flag, or we're going to do where you have to hold your place, like everyone has to attack, get in the building. You got to protect
I
the
want to
building.
do. It's like it's 2 teams of 4, and last person.
Last man standing.
Yeah.
Deathmatch.
So, yeah.
Deathmatch.
Yeah.
All right.
You call it deathmatch?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that's what you call it. Okay.
Oh man, back in the Call of Duty days, absolutely.
So paintball deathmatch style. Okay, great. So that's the deal. Okay,
Yep.
and then after that we got the whole bonfire thing going.
Yep.
Now I've talked to the Master Machine guys. They talked about doing the meat smokers,
Yeah.
which is great. I think everyone likes meat. It takes the pressure off of having to cook anything.
Sure.
We can get that done. They do the beanbag toss thing.
Cornhole?
Cornhole, yeah, cornhole, and I feel like that's like a bonfire-y kind of thing to do.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
and it's easy to do, and it's not super stressful, and I just feel like it's a
If you're
move.
going to have cornhole, you need to also have the
Cornhole, yeah.
horseshoes. You're going to have a horseshoe, sit up with a stake out there. I mean, guys are just. It's the most frustrating game to play. but-
Horseshoes.
Yeah, if you get it, I mean, not the plastic
See,
ones.
that's the thing. I feel like
We're talking-
cornhole is this generation's horseshoes.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to bring
And
back the
they're
real.
not metal, and so
We
there's
get a
less
solid
damage
metal-
done
oh,
when they
solid damage.
misfire.
Do you have to choose one or the other? Is it cornhole?
I don't
or
think you
'cause-
have to.
No.
No, you got to do it. I'd say do both, but
Well, because the thing is, you want everybody kind of in the same area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get 2 separate
Stick with cornhole.
cornhole. Okay. Now, and then at 8:30, American Badass Trivia.
Ooh.
It's like, what president got shot and then continued giving his speech? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I like that kind of stuff. Our business trip, we're going to work through that.
Yeah.
And I think we wrap up around 9:30, that kind of thing.
That's fair.
Does that feel like a pretty good agenda?
I think it's a great agenda.
I would vote 9 just because getting entrepreneurs to stop at a certain point.
That's
There'll probably
true.
be 9:30 to 10 before they really wrapped it up. So
Yeah.
you got to give them a early. It's like the first call.
Okay. I'm adjusting this right now. So 4 o'clock we start the death match paintball. Bonfires maybe starts at 6. I mean, that's the move. But it's going to be kind of dark. Maybe we go, okay, I'm working through it. But anyway, so we'll work through the details. But then, now Saturday, 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a move.
That's definitely a move.
Okay, so 3-on-3 basketball. So we got that going on. Now the conference ends at 3.
But they
So
got to
what-
know about it ahead of time, so they bring their sneakers.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you got 3-on-3 basketball, there's going to be some of the guys who are no longer athletically able.
That's
but
part
can
of the game.
Still play
Yeah.
basketball. So there's got to be like
Kind of like
also
watching the donkey basketball.
the
you
thing that
know?
all the kids love when you go to do a basketball camp is they all want to do knockout. They all want to be up there, 3-point or a free throw
Horse.
line knockout, where you're just sitting there. Who could be the last guy still standing that doesn't get knocked out?
Yeah.
So you got to have at least one knockout tournament.
Now, most people, I feel like, because Jason, you talked to the attendees.
Yeah.
I think most people are going home Saturday night.
Like leaving to go back to wherever they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are they going back Sunday?
Yeah.
What are you feeling? I feel like
No, so for all of my clients, all of them said they were leaving either like
Sunday
early
morning?
Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. So they're here Friday, Saturday night looking for
okay,
something
so
to
Saturday
do.
night we need to go strong with other things.
Yeah.
So you're suggesting knockout? What is this game you speak of?
You know, where you line up on the free throw line, somebody's right behind you with the ball, ready to. If you miss your shot, then if they make theirs first, then
out.
you're out.
So,
Okay.
so the guy behind you can make your shot before you get yours in. You're out. And if you can make yours in, then you go behind him and try to get him out.
What are other things that people do when it's kind of, what are kind of other events we could do that you go, that was, if you guys been to like a camp, a family camp, some retreat where you go, that was cool. What else? Is there anything else that's like great? So I feel like if
Well,
we do
I was
cornhole
gonna-
one day, maybe we do horseshoes the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just wondering if there's like a vista point where you can see from the land, where
And rappel.
well, or even just like you can see downtown Tulsa, or there's like a great view where people can just kind of chill, relax, like I said, kind of percolate on ideas. I don't know. I haven't been to the land, but I don't know if there's any higher elevation that allows you to kind of look out.
Not currently.
Okay.
Not currently. No. We do have a big pond though.
Mm-hmm.
We have a big pond, so it could be like fire pit pond hangout area.
Yeah.
So maybe you do fire pit pond. That's where the horseshoes are at. Maybe. So you do like fire pit pond horseshoes, more grilling.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you're gonna go over by the pond, you've got a great lookout right there. It'd be a great place to set up horseshoes. So then that way people, or the bonfire actually, because there's a lot of gravel and contain the fire. But I mean, either way you slice it, the events are gonna work.
As long as there's a medical release properly signed, one thing that's just crap loads of fun is axe throwing.
You being serious?
Oh yeah.
People
It is fun.
will.
Oh, that is a genuine thing to do. That is fun.
All you need to do is paint a target on some board, and then once it's destroyed, it's so cheap to do also because you can go to Home Depot to get these supplies. Hell, you can go to like an antique store to get just axes to
Did you
throw.
say an Antifa store?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
They throw things at Antifa.
that's true.
I'm sure they can
No,
hook us up.
they're more of a baseball bat style. I mean,
I know a guy who we could practice brick throwing. We're already setting fires. I mean, come on.
We're
So
halfway there.
is axe throwing a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Are you being serious?
That was one of the things we did
It's
for
a
my
thing.
bachelor party. There is a place in Broken Arrow that's sadly no longer there, but they did. I wish we could do go-karts. I mean, if you want to, I could try and figure out how we can do half paintball course, half go-kart. That'd be great. That's wishful thinking. But no, axe throwing is lucrative. There's a place in Jinx. There's a place in Broken Arrow. There's a place downtown Tulsa. And people show up, drink beer, and just throw axes at a board, and they have a blast.
We did this for our New Year's Eve activity
Was it
at
good?
Gotwood and Jinx.
What
And
are
it
other,
was fun.
What are other
great
things?
name of a business. Great name.
What
of
are
a
other
business.
things?
Let's see.
'Cause I think fire pit at 7
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So at 7 you're in the fire pit, and you got the grilling going on. We can't forget the grilling.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you're at the fire pit. You're at the. So
Are we thinking like hasty bake? Like
Well,
No, we're thinking Master Machine smoking stuff.
we are all a bunch of dudes, so
Yeah.
there's a
Mhm.
lot of testosterone in most of these ideas. Which
So
is
what you're saying
great.
is we
It's
need
what
to
I
do
love.
life-size beer pong. Have you seen that?
That
Life
is
size.
life
you,
size.
You get trash cans and you paint them to look like Solo cups, and then you just shoot like a deflated basketball, and it's a
Oh.
drinking game.
Well, I was going
haven't
to say,
seen that.
Clay should bring in his mother-in-law because she's got some great ideas that would be great for the more not so testosterone fueled members of the Thrive Nation that will be coming, because they're listening to this, they're going, that does sound aggressive and full contact. Is there something that's a little bit more soothing? And she's got some great massaging ideas that there may be a section for the,
Are you trying to say we should get like a back rub chain around the bonfire?
Well, no, not for the guys.
Are you wearing rope sandals?
I just see there's the testosterone side of it jumping in. We got to need to leave our brothers with more estrogen that have the females in the group that are saying, hey, what can...
Whoa.
Well, I'm not going to say that
We
everyone.
have counterparts. They're called ladies.
There are ladies, and there are some that are just a little bit more slow. They're just a little bit more relaxed. They're a little bit more.
Whoa.
Did you just say they're slow because they're women, Nathan?
That took a turn for the worse.
Okay.
Just a second. When you are digging a hole,
Yeah.
stop
Okay,
digging.
so let's
need a rope,
let's
not a
make
shovel.
sure again. What we're doing today is we are teaching everybody out there the supreme routine to make every day count. Okay, so step one, you got to invest 1 hour per day to plan your day. That's
True.
That's great. 2, you got to create a checklist of the repeatable tasks. But 3, when you want to improve the business, so this week at Elephant in the Room, we have a deal where if you buy a membership, you also get any one of my books that you want.
True.
And I think that's a great idea. Will it work? Will it not? We don't know. I've heard good feedback so far, but we'll measure. We always define what we think is going to work. Someone should write this down. The rhythm of entrepreneurship is define, act, measure, refine. You define what you think is going to work. You act, then you measure the results, and then you refine. Okay. Step 3, we got to innovate in a disciplined way. We got to make sure it's not just random ideas we're throwing out to the universe. We got to take the time. It's just nothing is worse than attending a poorly executed anything.
Yeah.
True.
I just
You ever been to a bad party? Somebody who clearly they just had the idea to have a party, but they did not think, well, we need refreshments, we need food, we need something for people to do. Then it's just people sitting there.
and this is
Or
not
not
a-
even having chairs to sit on.
and I'm
Exactly.
not- this is not a dig at anybody who loves me. This is just a dig in general. I really, really, really cannot stand it when people throw me a birthday party because it's always whack every time. Anytime I've ever had a party that I've liked, I've organized every aspect of it, and it's been fine. Dr. Z does the same thing. I just can't handle a lame party because it's just weak. I've had.
No, I came over here and watched a football game last season, and it was great. I mean, there were people, there was
People who I
food in
wanted
one
to
area,
invite
there were
over.
people
Yes.
that were at the, wanting to watch the game, others who wanted to mingle. They weren't in front of the people trying to
And
watch
only
the game.
people that I wanted to be there were there.
All great
made it
people,
Not just
all very
random
positive.
relatives. It was great. Now, point 4, you got to use a day pump. You have to use a day planner. You have to use a day planner. And I'm not going to beat you over the head with what specific brand. I'm saying print it out. Please print it out. Please don't tell me that you didn't print it out, because I have yet to have a successful client that does not print out or have some sort of schedule. The doctors I work with have a schedule. They might have an assistant that says, coming up at 9, you see this person. At 10, you're seeing this person. At 11, you're seeing this person.
Absolutely.
A complete carpet. I know you have a schedule of when you're going, where you're going. But if you just are in your head, man, it all falls apart.
Well, we even take the next level. We print one out for each of our employees.
Come on now.
We put on there what they're going to do, what's at the job, what's on the time. Because sometimes you rely on digital technology. Guess what's going to happen the moment you need to go to your next job?
Yep.
Your internet's going to go out, and you're not going to be able to pull that app up on your phone. If you don't have a physical copy to be able to quickly look at, or if you're driving, you can't pull your phone, you need something that you need. So even this helps our employees too by giving them their whole day, all 12 hours, broken down by 2-hour chunks, exactly what's going to be involved in each of those jobs.
Yeah, we do a 3-minute meeting on the schedule every morning.
But do you guys see the irony of not having, so to Clay's point, using the day planner, whether it be printing out your calendar, using the getting one of those the everyday to-do list binders you can buy at Target or whatever, it's half calendar, half journal. The irony of planning your day for an hour and then not printing it out and taking it with you, you just wasted an hour.
Right.
You woke up, got a lot of stuff done as far as implementation goes for planning your day, and then now you get to work and you're like,
You get
what
to
am
the
I
action
doing?
steps
Yeah.
and don't do it.
Yeah, that's like using your trip metaphor from earlier. That's like planning a long distance trip and not getting gas. You're like, well, crap.
Or you
Right.
filled the gas up, you just left it at home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's victory every day.
Yeah.
We've got to make sure that you win every
And
day.
consistency. Absolutely.
Well,
and then if you win every day and you do that for a year,
You've won.
right. So right now, John and I are pushing 2 more books across the finish line. One of the books, I don't have the working title is How to Not Win Friends and How to Not Influence Anybody.
I can't wait for that one.
That is pretty good. But I mean, I'm wrapping that up, but simultaneously we're doing this show, and you say, how do you do that? but then we're also pushing out mastermind manuscripts, and you say, how do you do that? It's by having a routine. So again, step 1, invest 1 hour per day to plan your day. We got that?
Yep.
Step 2, create a checklist of all the repeatable tasks you do over and over. Step 3, innovate in a disciplined way. It is okay to have big ideas and dreams. You can think outside of the structure, but write that crap down. Because we've already discussed. I've learned a lot today from Jason. I asked, what is all the stuff we need for paintball? I didn't know it was called deathmatch style. That's cool. I didn't know that we needed red bandanas and blue bandanas. I didn't know we needed boundary lines from Dr. Breck. I just knew I've done paintballing before, and it's kind of fun. And it's also fun to watch people get shot at their expense if you're not playing. And what I'm trying to do, and I want to make sure the listeners get this, I'm trying to design an experience for the people that like our program. So, like Randy Antrican likes our program for the same reason that Lauren Rocket left me a bad review on Google, because she can't do it.
Right.
She's sensitive.
I think Antrican would be an animal on the paintball
He
course.
will be.
I have to be on his team.
Well, I'm saying this about Lauren Rocket by name because she decided to mention me by name on a Google review, and she worked for me like 12 years ago. And I'm just saying, Lauren, I haven't talked to you in 12 years. I remember you being a pretty good videographer, and I remember you couldn't take the heat. So you pieced out. So now you leave a review 12 months later. So if you came to a conference and you're like, I don't want to get shot, I don't want you coming.
Right.
Because I know who my ideal and likely buyer is. Think about our clients. Think about who they are. Think about who they are. Top clients. You mentioned who?
I mentioned Lake Martin Minimo.
Placid.
Placid.
These are people that don't take
Flow
sick
Photography.
days.
Yep. Kevin with MultiClean. Let's see who else was there. Stephanie Pipkin with Black River. Is it Black River Falls? Of course, Randy Antrican. Stephen Hall with Mod Scenes.
They're kind of all the same person.
Oh, they are. Yeah, every single one of them. They plan their day. They're super intentional. They show up. They're very goal focused.
And they would be irritated if there wasn't something to do next.
Yes,
They would be like, what are we doing? So I have to do, and we're going to get more detailed here, but Nathan threw out the idea of doing the horseshoes. I like that, but I can't be like, okay, guys, we're going to do a fire pit or horseshoes or whatever, because they will get bored. They need a structure. They need to know at 7, we're going to grill. At 8, we're going to do axe throwing. At 9, we're going to do go-karts. Whatever we're going to do, they have to know that. Now, again, step 4, though, you got to have a day planner. You got to have a day planner, all you do. And now step 5, you have to have a to-do list. A to-do list. Jason, there's a wonderful young lady at the conference. She says, Clay, you need to listen to this song called Beautiful Eulogy, Release Me from This Snare.
Or as Clay Stairs would say, release me from the snakes.
No, she said that, and I'm going to listen to it right now because I said I was going to. It could be a song that I don't like. It could be a song I do like. But you know what I'm going to do?
We're about to find out.
Yeah, because I said I would listen to it. So I'm going to cue it up
No
here.
pressure. We're going to watch your reactions.
Here we go.
Hit my YouTube channel.
He's got a normal
Starts
face.
off. It's a good start. It's got the nature scene to go with us here. Here we go. Okay. It's got nature. Appears to be well shot.
Is that rain or is
394,000
someone
views.
peeing?
Yeah, it's rain at this point, I believe. I have no proof. It could be urination. Let me see here. Just
Wait for the camera
right
to
there.
pan.
Definitely. That's a stream.
Little stream.
Sorry, guys. My mic is on.
Okay, let me go. Now, there's still a lot of B-roll here. A lot of detail shots of a forest. Here we go. You know, I might like this group, or I might not. I don't know. It's what happens. I'll give you my immediate reaction.
At least it's got some speed to the rhythm.
I acknowledge my sin to you and I did not cover my iniquity. There's nowhere to hide from your all-seeing eyes. You know everything, I can't tell you a lie. You know my own heart much better than I. You know when I sleep and you know when I rise. You know all the thoughts that go through my mind from morning to night, every moment of pride. Hey, I acknowledge my sin to you and I did not cover my iniquity. You know what I've done, you know what I do. So I open my mouth and confess it to you. And you're making me new. It's your spirit at work to convict me of sin. So I know where to turn and I know where to run. Run to your arms to be cleansed of my sin by the blood of your son. Hey, I acknowledge my sin. I know I can't kill it with a knife or a gun. It must be crucified on the cross with your son. Then I can know that it's finished and done. Then I can know that I'm truly forgiven and get to the business of living for you. And it's not for my glory, but only for you. And it speaks of your mercy, your love, and your truth. Give me the faith to believe what you say and to trust in your word when I'm tempted to stray. And to patiently wait for the day you return. I hate my sin, it burns. But the old will pass away. While I'm still here, you hear my prayer. Please wash my sins away. Oh Lord, release me from the snare. The old will pass away. While I'm still here, you hear my prayer. Please wash my sins away. Oh Lord, release me from this snare. Oh God, my sin is great, there's no escaping it. I hate my sin, but I still partake in it. I become numb to the touch from feeling it. I've learned the art and skill of concealing it. I might pretend to keep my composure, hoping never to disclose the truth that it exposes. And even though nobody around me knows it, God, you notice when I'm alone, it shows it. I do a good job doing good deeds. Look the right part, cause I say the right things. Trusting your word and what's best for me, but it seems that I still live in disbelief. I begin to better understand confession when I understand the weight of my sin and its effect, and how it's a direct reflection of my selfishness, and recognize your correct assessment. I don't have to hide behind my own pride, tear myself up from the guilt inside, cause I've been given everything I've ever needed to stand clean and forgiven when I receive Jesus. So the old will pass away while I'm still here. You hear my prayer. Please wash my
My take is this. I think their lyrics make sense. I need a melody. That's what I need. I need a melody. So I would say flow. I'm going to give it on a scale of 1 to 10. In terms of their lyrical content, I'll put them up there with like a 7. But I need a melody. I got to have a melody. And if I have a melody, though, I'm down. If I can't have a melody, I can't do it. And that's just a universal rule that I have.
I will say that's not what I was expecting at all.
This is a lot more like a prayer, like it's like listening to Romans 7 and 8. It's
There's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of content, truth in what they're saying. But yeah, I get what you're saying as well, Clay.
Let me.
good words, but monotonous.
Let me queue up a song that I can do. And then maybe that way, if I get another song recommendation, because when you recommend a food for somebody, there's always a chance that they're not going to like the food. And
You
then
like
you're
spicy, right?
Well, let's see. Let's do. I like this. Okay, this is what I like. This would be. I might have to do some editing, but this is Mike Posner, one take, done with Sammy Mills, and here we go. Let me cue it up here. This is one take. It has to have a melody for me. If it doesn't have a melody, I can't do it. And I appreciate the recommendation.
Everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'm gonna go for
This is all one take, by the way. It's called We Own It.
We own it. I'm not to be played with because it can get dangerous.
Mike Posner's on the piano.
This moment we own
Nah,
it.
I just feel like I'm gon' win. Hold me west side eye, that's my kin. Beneath your beautiful, that's my pen. You trying to get dope, but I just am. I was born with it, did a tour with it. Them overseas girls always give you more digits. I've been blessed, I done went shore to shore with it. Now I'm trying to help a couple kids do more with it. Got some plaques on the wall and I'm still dope. I'm just trying to show the people that it's still hope. You buy an album and we serve up a meal, bro. The label's like, that's gonna cost you $1 million, bro. So bad, God told me to. And mama don't believe in that, but I know it's true. We came to spread a little love, that's what we gonna do. Finally famous in the house, that's the only crew.
One shot, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes,
I like
I'ma
hip hop
go
and
for
R&B.
it.
So it's hip hop and R&B. I can do that all day. That's what I can do. That's the kind of music
The
I
wordplay
can handle.
that from the A, B, C, D, and how he connected it. Mike Posner is highly underrated.
No, he's great. He's just not trying to write pop songs. That's the deal.
That's great.
That's great. I agree. So
No,
I'll
but that's
just
the thing. There's a lot more development. There's a lot more complexity. There's a lot. I mean, you can from one comparison to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one is a simple wine, say from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
where you just don't get that complexity. You don't get the full
But I appreciate the
bodiness
sentiment. I
Right.
appreciate the sentiment.
of a California wine.
I
Or-
appreciate this. I agree with what you said. I appreciate the sentiment, but I want to make sure we're getting these 5 ideas. I want to make sure I go back to these because if we have a show and you leave the show saying, what was that show about? That's a bad show. That's a bad show. It's a bad show. So let's talk about it again, okay? These are 5 moves you can use to create the super routine. It's the supreme routine to make every day count, okay? So 1, invest 1 hour per day in planning your day. Breck does it at night. I do it in the morning. Either way, just get it done. Point 2, create a checklist for the repeatable stuff. Complete carpet. I mean, if you did not have a checklist for every job, it'd be hell.
The jobs wouldn't get done.
It'd just be crazy.
We'd get called back on every job.
And we've all had somebody show up for a speech or an event or something without a plan, without a checklist. It's almost unbearable. Point 3, innovate in a disciplined way. It's okay to fail, but you've got to scale. You got to come up with what you believe to be a good idea, and then you have to execute the idea. Will you have universal acceptance of the ideas? No. Will everybody be on the same page? No. That's why for our playlist in the office, people suggest a song.
Yeah.
I'd say 1 out of 20
Yeah.
makes it on the list.
I keep saying we need to add Tupac's "How Do You Want It," and somehow it doesn't end up on the playlist. And
Do
that's
you
okay.
really suggest that?
Yeah.
Do you really?
It's such a good song. You're gonna have, if you play that, you're gonna have to put some edits on there.
I know I would. I know.
It's so good though. You
I don't know
can't
if
hear
you need
that
to put
song.
edits on there, or you just need to edit
I
it.
don't like to dance, but every time you hear that song, it just makes you want to move. Tupac was the man.
Okay, we continue. We move on. Now, so point 3, innovate in a disciplined way. Point 4, though, you gotta make sure, folks, you gotta use a date planner every day. Use a date planner every day. And point 5, use a to-do list. And as a bonus pro tip, go to the Cardinal Club. Go
Do
there.
it.
We don't. I don't make a commission for pitching this place, but the food was so great.
It was
Both times.
Yeah.
You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was mind blown. I mean, you've never steered me wrong as far as like a referral has gone or a recommendation. It was
Shaka-baba.
better than I expected.
And
It
you
was-
know food.
And I do.
I mean, it was
You
good.
got a
You're a
culinary
culinary
background.
guy.
I don't recommend a lot of places to eat, but that place was
This is
did a
true.
great
You
job.
don't. It's Brahms or nothing, really.
Did you meet Travis up there?
I did. Yeah, he came over, introduced himself. He's a sharp guy.
I tell you, you cut yourself just looking at him. That's how sharp he is.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to wrap up today's show with a boom. Anything you want to add there, Nathan?
Yeah, before you do, the reason you want to do all 5 of these steps, the reason this is so vastly important, especially for the entrepreneur out there, is that if you don't plan your day, somebody else will. And so you need to make sure that what's happening in that day, something's going to happen. And it's either going to be what you have divined for your day so you can have an amazing, awesome day, or it's going to be what other people are going to make you do. You're going to have the God minutes. You're going to have everything else. And if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't get done. So make sure you've planned your day so that nobody else will plan it for you.
There it is.
Folks, I'm excited to be here with you each and every day. Many of you have asked me, how come you guys don't sell commercials or advertisements? It's because I want to be able to say whatever we need to say. I don't want to feel like I have to push a vendor that I wouldn't recommend. Yesterday, somebody came up to me and said, do you recommend this particular attorney? Do you recommend this particular accountant? And I said on the stage, and James was right there.
Yeah, to the
I
mic.
said, just because James is here doesn't mean I recommend him or I don't.
Yeah, you said I recommend that you get 2 or 3 quotes or you talk to
References,
2 or
yeah.
3 people.
I've
Yep.
been trying to pitch him on advertising my new 1-hour millennial survival kit, and he just won't put it on the show. I don't understand. It's a genuine kit, just how you can keep a millennial for just 1 more hour at your workplace. It's just a brilliant idea. I'm sure people will be willing to pay lots of money to. And he shakes his head like it's a terrible idea. I don't understand.
We're throwing away a fortune. All right, now, folks, without any further ado, let's end this show with a boom. 3, 2, 1, boom! Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads? That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results? Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business. How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer? I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business. Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results. What do you mean by dominate? You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away, I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so it's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July, and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemes. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those of doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru, or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, force the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom, overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how, but you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up, cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind as your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day.
Somebody say,
and now is your time.
It's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, He's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time time
you got money to burn. Apply what you've learned, increase what you've earned, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned, increase what you've earned, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned,
Sing it.
increase what you've earned.
Yes.
In due time you got money to
With this difficult miracle, I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it, sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Merton.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.